Hello boxing fans, welcome back to Andy's Cavern on what is a very dreich night up here in bonnie Scotland. It's just miserable. Hope you're all well out there, having a good week. Hump day tomorrow, halfway there. Weekend's on its way. What's going to happen next then for Derek Chisora? I feel the people in the boxing media and that are kind of facilitating his physical demise. It is a bit morbid, I say, but needs to be talked about. I mean, at the end of that fight, his head was like a pumpkin, wasn't it? But he won the fight. You can't take nothing away from him, and you've got to take your hat off to him for what he's done, putting on the line for the fans. For British boxing, he does appear to be a fan's favourite, doesn't he? Because he always brings it, and he's got no quitting him, is he? He's a true warrior. But for me, he should have stopped a few years ago. You don't want to see anybody getting injured. Going on is only going to do more damage. Yeah, I mean, some of the people in TalkSport thinking, oh, you could give Usyk a better fight than anybody, you know, this kind of caper on that side. I don't want to hear stuff like that. If they guys truly care about him, they need to encourage him to stop. Because where's it all going to end? And just at the weekend there for another tragedy in boxing. Young 28-year-old Galway boxer John Cooney, may he rest in peace. Sadly died after getting a brain injury on the 1st of February, defending his Celtic super featherweight championship. So my condolences goes out to John's family and friends, and it's just unfortunately the downside of boxing. This can happen. Fighters know the risks going in, but to be fair to the British Boxing Board of Control, I think they have more safety measures in place than a lot of other countries, but I think there could still be more to be done. I'm not an expert, I'm only a fan, but you hear of people having sparring wars and stuff like that in gyms. You'll maybe know more about this than I do, but what damage is that putting on people, especially leading up to a fight? If people are having, I'm only looking at it from a kind of logical point of view, if people are having, say, sparring wars in the gym leading up to a fight and a lot of hard sparring, could they effectively be carrying a brain injury into a fight? I think most people stop sparring a week before the fight, as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. I'm not always right. I'm not here to tell people what to think or anything, as I always say. But perhaps, I think they get annual brain scans, boxers, but perhaps that needs to happen more often. And maybe gyms need to be monitored better. There's also the ongoing issue with people failing drug tests in boxing. I think there needs to probably wider. No, I'm not saying that's what happened to John Cooney in any way, shape or form, but there is a general thing with latterly people failing drug tests. We all know who they are, the big names that's failed it, and the drama and the dark cloud over boxing that's brought. And in some respects, a lot of fans, I hear people saying these guys are failing drug tests and effectively getting away with it. So if there's no accountability, where's the deterrent? It's absolutely disgusting in my book. People knowingly getting juiced up and going into a boxing ring. That's an intent to do damage. That's definitely got to be categorised as a criminal offence. You're getting an unfair advantage against somebody in a sport where you can legally kill somebody. That needs to change. But some people seem to get, I think it was Liam Cameron got a big ban for recreational drugs, and then there's other guys failing on PEDs and they're not getting so much of a ban. So it's wrong, eh? It should be a level playing field. There needs to be a standardised procedure for what happens when you fail a drug test as a boxer, a licensed boxer. So I would say that's all I've got to say, and that is, I'm sorry it's a bit morbid, but that's just the way, that's the way it is, eh? That's the way I feel about it. I can only tell the truth and as I see it. I ain't here to BS anybody. So they're going to encourage Chisora to fight on. I don't want to see it. I think he could leave his head held high after that. After the weekend's performance, he had a big crowd of fans there, and it wasn't a boxing match for me. It was more a brawl, but scrappy at times. But it was action packed. There was a couple of knockdowns and that. So I thought he did well, but did he do well because Wallin was so poor? Bit of both maybe, bit of both. But Derek's coordination just doesn't seem good to me. It seems all over the place, which I find alarming, and I ain't no expert. And then you've got another big heavyweight show coming up. Joyce versus Whyte. I like Joyce. I was a bit of Joyce fan for most of his career. He's always been match tough, but though he looks slow and ponderous, he's strangely effective. I think he must have really good timing. I always thought he had good footwork, but I think is that deserting him now. I don't know. I've seen interviews with him recently, and he just seems to lose his train of thought. We can all lose our train of thought now and again. It happens to me on here. Thankfully, it usually comes back, which is quite important when I'm trying to make a video talking to people about something. But it just seemed he was. I seen him getting interviews the other day, and he just seemed to be not quite there. He comes across as a lovely guy as well, a genuinely nice guy. He's a big unit as well, big juggernaut. He's got a win over Parker. It was a good win, and Parker said he wasn't well. Maybe that might be true or not, but it's certainly a good. That's probably, you got to say that was his best win. I think he's still got enough in the tank to take care of Joyce, but to take care of Whyte, sorry, take care of himself. But I don't want, to be honest with you, I don't want to see him fight anymore because he gets hit too easy, and he's a big tough guy, but no matter how tough you are, it ain't doing you no favours getting hit as easy as that. For a long time he seemed to walk through it until he walked into Zhang, but yeah, and of course Chisora dropped him. Was it the last round, I think, or late in the fight anyway. Chisora is a decent puncher, I mean, I think Usyk said the hardest he was hit was by Chisora. So he's got a decent shot to drop Joyce. I think he was standing quite square on at the time, but well, Chisora looked on the verge of getting taken out himself at that point in that fight. They both took a lot of punishment in that fight. But I'd like to see him stop as well. But then that's just my opinion. If they're passing medicals and they want to carry on, and people are paying them and people want to see them, they're selling tickets, there's not much I can do about it. But I hope Joyce smashes Whyte out the game, because Whyte's, I believe he's a 4-time drug cheat, so that's what everybody's saying. So if he's a 4-time drug cheat, I think one was in MMA and one was early in his career, and then one was after the Oscar Rivas fight, and then there was another one before he met to fight Joshua, wasn't it? I think they came out with some contamination excuse, but at the end of the day he failed a drug test. So I don't think we ever heard the proper breakdown of that story, did we? Then he fought in Ireland and fought in Gibraltar, so is he getting a licence here? Where is he licensed? I think I did hear at the time it was like that Texas board, but they licensed Mike Tyson at 59 to fight Jake Paul, which is an absolute disgrace. They should hang their heads in shame. the Texas Commission, if it's them that licensed Mike Tyson. Absolute disgrace. We just don't want to see stuff like this. You want the best for the sport that you love, so let's hope things get shaken up by Turkey Ala Sheikh. No pun intended there. Because he's doing a lot of good for boxing, so hopefully he carries on, try to make it safer as well as just putting on big shows and paying big money. So that's all for me tonight, guys, and again, it's the witching hour, so it's time for sleep. Okay guys, all the best. Till the next time, you guys take care and be happy and be healthy. Okay, cheers.